Next, sometimes TV stars make a bigger headline for being fired than for being hired. And here to talk about some crazy TV show firings is ESPN anchor and host of the movie podcast Cineville, my man Adnan Virk. So Adnan, obviously great having you back. I want to start with Lisa Bonet, who was fired twice, once from The Cosby Show and then from its spinoff, A Different World. Adnan, what happened and where's she today?
Well, Jessi, first off, I hope you and I never make a list like this, but away we go with Lisa Bonet. She was a huge star back on The Cosby Show. Number one when it came to fan mail, because very popular young male teens, I'm sure yourself back in the day. But honestly, she ended up being fired because she was argumentative, late to the set, etc. And she actually appeared in an X-rated scene in the movie Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke, which drew the ire of Bill Cosby. So they moved her out to A Different World where she could play a college student, but then she got let go from that show because she got pregnant with Lenny Kravitz's child. She didn't even appear in the finale of that show. So since then, her professional career has been floundering, but she's 50 years old, has a couple kids. It's all past her now.
Okay, and next we've got Nicolette Sheridan, who played Edie Britt on Desperate Housewives. She was written off the show and then filed a lawsuit against creator Mark Cherry. Adnan, how'd that turn out for her?
Yeah, so according to Mark Cherry, Jessi, she was fired for a variety of reasons, creative reasons, cost cutting, and the fact that a couple of her co-stars did not want to have her around. Felicity Huffman notably wanted her off the show, as did Eva Longoria. So she gets dismissed, but then she filed, as you mentioned, that $20 million lawsuit, and she alleged that creator Mark Cherry had tapped her on the head and that he had also been involved with emotional distress towards her and age discrimination. He said the tap on the head, according to Mark Cherry, was a playful move done in rehearsal. He was trying to show her a bit of physical comedy, and he said the fact of her habitual lateness, her difficulty on set, that's why she was fired. The case ultimately was dismissed without enough evidence.
Okay, next up, we're talking Charlie Sheen. Who could forget the headlines when he was fired from 2.5 Men? Then walk us through that scenario, how things turned out for Sheen lately.
Yeah. One word, Jessi, winning, right? We all know about that catchphrase, how it was applied to Charlie Sheen. You know, he was making $1.8 million an episode. He was the hottest star in television, and then it all came crashing down. Argumentative, sparring with his creator, Chuck Lorre, who he publicly blasted. He also admitted to cocaine use, and so all of it came unraveling at the same time. And since then, of course, it's been even more problematic. He admitted the fact he's HIV positive, but it's amazing to think how high he was, and that show Anger Management, which was supposed to be his comeback. Unfortunately, that show stopped producing because of his health reasons.
All right, Adnan, let's talk about Shannen Doherty, who was let go from both Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed. What happened with Shannen?
One word here, Jessi, diva. That's exactly what she was like in the set of Beverly Hills 90210. A bad attitude, difficult to work with. And in fact, it was Tori Spelling who had to call her father, Aaron Spelling, and say, we've got to get her out of here. I know this hurts you personally because 90210 was definitely a staple of the Palmer household, but she was certainly difficult to get along with. And then you mentioned Charmed. What happened there is, again, she had difficulties, this time with her co-star Alyssa Milano, also DWA charges as well. So Shannen Doherty, 2 shows, and neither one ended on a good note.
Finally, we've got Isaiah Washington, who was fired in 2007 from Grey's Anatomy for making a homophobic slur. And what happened to him, and what is he up to these days?
Yeah, he was talking to his co-star Patrick Dempsey when he used that gay slur about TR Knight. TR Knight later disclosed publicly the fact that he is gay. He also then again used that slur at an award ceremony. So Isaiah Washington was dismissed from the show. He later, though, did do a PSA ad for GLAAD, the gay and lesbian organization. He also actually came back to the show, reprising his role back in 2014 with a guest spot. So he was obviously very apologetic about the word that he used, but he has now since said that he thinks he was dismissed due to an allegedly racist executive. Says that Shonda Rhimes is in his corner, so he says the full truth was not disclosed, and in fact he's now on a show on the CW, so he's acting. Isaiah Washington is back in the public eye.
Well, Dan, I got to say, I'm lucky to work with you both at ESPN and here at DailyMailTV. You mentioned it at the top. Let's do our best and try and stay off this list, huh?
It sounds great, Jessi. You and me, brother, for many, many, many years.
All right.